Hey guys, it's quickly again with another ROM review, and this time I've got a very interesting ROM for you guys, and this is called the Bliss ROM version 6.4, so stay tuned for that. Now let's get started. The Bliss ROM is probably not something which you haven't heard of. It's been here for a long time and it's a very popular ROM. What it does is take the best elements from all the improved ROMs, and then it gives you a very seamless and feature rich ROM which you can use as one ROM, and you get a lot of features in it. So let's go to the Bliss ROM about phone page. Now in the about phone page you can see this is version 6.4. You can also see a list of supported devices here. So it is Bliss ROM 6.4 for OnePlus 3. This is a nightly edition which I have installed right now. It is pretty stable. I didn't have much issues with it. I will be talking about a few of the issues which I found with it. So yeah, there will be updates available, and it does have an update downloader, so nice to see. Now in the about phone, in the other settings, it is a OnePlus 3. 6.0.1 is the latest version of Android. It does have the latest July patches for Android, so that is nice to see again. Build number is this one. So yeah, as I've already mentioned, this is a feature filled ROM. It has a lot of features, but this is not as overwhelming as Resurrection Remix was. There are still features, but most of them are a bit tamed down. So let's get started now. In the Bliss settings, there are the others fun. First of all, something which I noticed with this ROM is that in the SIM card settings, there are two SIM. This is a dual SIM phone. Deactivating a SIM card deactivates the SIM card, yes, but the icon does not move away from the status bar, which is kind of jarring. I couldn't find any setting to just remove the icon from there, because I don't want to see two icons there which I'm not going to use, so I keep it activated. So if you guys have any idea how to do that, please do let me know so that I can just get rid of that. Anyhow, let's get going. So you do have all of this. These are working in the Bliss settings. Now these are where all the meat and potatoes of the ROM is available. Now let's get started with animation. It does have the animation settings, toast animation, list view animation, if you enable it to something. You do have interpolator also. System animation is from AOKP, so you do have option to change every bit of animation which appears in this phone. Pretty nice to see. Window scaling is available, where you can change 2.7, which is what I personally prefer, because to have a speedy interface. So pretty nice to see this available. Button settings. In the button settings, you do have navigation nav bar button, so you do have all on-screen nav bar button. You can also change the icons of the nav bar so that you can use left-handed. Also show arrows while typing. That is pretty nice to see. If you're going to use the on-screen buttons, that is nice for you. I personally do not use it. It also has slim dim, which is a feature for the on-screen navigation button, which dims out to just dots when you're not using them. Power button twice for camera is available for power button. End call can be used for power button. Also it does have remapping of all the hardware buttons like home button, power button, recent menu. All of that can be remapped. I personally have it at double tap the home button to turn off the screen, which saves me from using the power button a lot. In the recent button option, you do have short press to open recent switcher, long press for opening the menu, which is nice to see. Now volume buttons can also be used to wake up the device, answer a call, or playback control, which I personally use a lot. I don't use the on-screen buttons whenever I use music. I use my volume keys to control the music next or previous one, so that is available. Keyboard cursor control is available, which I personally am a huge fan of. Control ringtone volume rather than the media volume, so that is also available. Long pressing the back button can kill the foreground application, and also you can increase or decrease the timeout. I would personally keep it at a higher amount, because sometimes when the device lags, which is rare but it does, when the device lags, it can cause it to register a long press, and and I can close the application which is in the foreground. So yeah, C clock is available, which is a cyanogen mode feature, and I don't think you need any introduction for that. So yeah, gesture anywhere makes a return, which is one of my favorite features in any custom ROM. So you do have that option. You can enable that and use it as well, however you want. So this is basically gesture on the smart screen, the lock screen, on any screen. So yeah, in the lock screen option you do have option to quick unlock, which I personally do like a lot, and the scramble layout is something which I use on this phone because I have my fingerprint registered. So if someone wants to unlock my phone, which is not me, they can still unlock it, but not without me telling them my password. So that is something which I really appreciate. It also has a directly show pin entry. If it just doesn't show dots if you want to be a little less careful about your password. Now you can also include a fingerprint, which I have done 4 fingers of mine. So yeah, smart lock is available with on-body detection available in this ROM. So I personally am using on-body detection. I do use that a lot because I find that very useful. Live lock screen, enable configure live lock screen, so you can enable that and get lock screens in a live condition. So yeah, pretty nice to see. You can see that is available. There is double tap the screen of the lock screen to put it to sleep. That is useful if you're going to just use your phone, if you're just going to wake up your device just to take the to check the time or notifications or not. But this does have the ambient display option, so that would be more useful for you guys. So yeah, music visualizer can be enabled, power menu lock screen can be enabled, power menu on lock screen, show lock screen clock. All of these are awesome features which I personally love, and that is really nice to see. In the recent menu, now recent menu seems to be a bit more anemic in this case because you don't have much options. Only option which I saw is RAM memory management. So in the option you do get a RAM bar there, so showing you that there is 3.5 gigs of RAM free right now. So you can also use the Omni switch for settings menu for recents rather than just having the normal vanilla recent menu. So you can also do a lot of stuff with it. There is a lot of options in this to tinker with, so that is something which I really appreciate. A lot of status bar, and in the status bar option you do have a lot. The clock style can be center, clock seconds can be enabled, AM PM small, color can be changed to something horrendous. I mean, come on, you have a lot of options there. Font size can be changed, font type can be changed to condense, which is my personal favorite. So yeah, a lot of stuff can be changed here. And also you can also enable a date option there, so that is also something you can do. Date position can be right of the time or left of the time, which is a new feature which I'm seeing. So yeah, nice to see all of these options. Battery options, you do have circle, icon, portrait with the percentage inside or outside. You can have that. Battery bar location, battery bar can be enabled, charging animation can be enabled. Now this is the Omni switch. Battery bar thickness can be changed to up to 4 dpi, so there is a lot of stuff there. Status bar icons can be enabled or disabled. I've already tried to cancel out the second signal bar with this, but it doesn't work. So just so you guys know, carrier label can be enabled or disabled onto anything. Status bar carrier label, or just enable it everywhere. Font style can be changed, and even you can have a custom one. So nice to see that. Temperature, network traffic can be enabled or disabled, and temperature can be enabled on the status bar, so it will show up here when I restart or whenever it gets a temperature reading. So pursue indicator can be enabled or disabled, which I normally want disabled, but for security reasons I just keep it enabled. Bluetooth icon can be disabled. Show 4G instead of LTE. Time contextual header, so the header changes according to the time. Brightness control by sliding across the status bar is also available, so you can do that. Show notification count just rather than just the icon there. Pretty nice to see. Quick pull down is enabled, so you can have that. Also the Bliss icon can be in the status bar. It also has a system app remover. If you are not content with any of the system apps, you can remove that app. I personally am not very big fan of the Adaway application, so I'll be removing that, and that is removed, and it just needs a root application, and that is gone just for you guys. So again, this is not something to be played with. There are a lot of important stuff in here. If you don't know what it does, just don't remove it, and don't invite trouble into your ROM. So just saying there. It also has wake clock blocker. If you are having a issue with wake clocks, you can enable that and check what all stuff is causing the wake clock issue. It also has a equalizer, which is basically a very old form of DSP manager, so you do have that. You can change it to whatever you want. It also has a CyanogenMod mode theme, which is wonderful. I mean, I personally like this implementation better than the layers implementation, but different people have different tastes, so yeah, this is just mine. Kernel auditor is inbuilt onto this, and this is my go-to application to change CPU temperatures, CPU core clock. So you have a lot of stuff here which you can tinker with, but this does not have an OC kernel enabled, but the CPU governor can be changed to different stuff, so you do have that option. Also, this is more or less, personally, I use this to just downclock the device so that I can get more battery out of it. So now in the other settings, everything else is pretty much the same stuff which is there in any other ROM, so nothing special in here. Charging sounds can be enabled, so that is there. In the advanced option, you can disable the camera shutter sound, screenshot sound, safe headset volume notice can be disabled, prevent audio ducking, volume steps can be configured, and also less frequent notification sounds. Pretty nice. Vibration intensity is something which is available in this ROM from the get-go, which I am really happy for, and I personally want really light vibrations, just to know that there is vibration, but not enough to just vibrate everything in my hand. So the display and light option, you do have settings for dashboard. As you can see, I had enabled the dashboard to be 2 panels, so you can have that. Even dashboard switches can be enabled for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. I keep it disabled because I personally don't see any use in it. And the toast icon with the icons, messages with the icons can be enabled from here. Disable FCs and all that can be enabled or disabled. Brightness level configuration, adaptive brightness, live display for changing the color temperature of your screen according to the time or the ambient display. Double tap to sleep. The status bar is available, so that is nice to see. Prevent accidental wake up. This is something which I really appreciate. Whenever your phone is in your pocket, the infrared sensor or the proximity sensor is used to not wake up your device, even if you are going to touch it or it is accidentally double tapped or something like that. So that is something which I really appreciate. Ambient display is available with the dose settings, so you have all the dose options available there. Now LCD density can be changed. I personally kept it to 400. 480 is the default one. You can change that to whatever you want. Also, font size is something which I keep to normal or small, but for you guys I've kept it to large so that well, you can see stuff on the screen. Also, pulse and all that available. Notification light settings, you can enable or disable notification lights. The default color can be changed. Brightness level of the notification light can be changed. Screen with lights on, all of these are available. Now if you enable custom values, you can add applications and add custom notification lights for custom applications. So that is amazing, and this is all without a third-party application. Now in the notification stuff, you do have heads-up display. You can change the timeout, snooze function, force heads-up, all that can be changed, and you can also enable apps into do not disturb, blacklist and whitelist, so you can just control all of them. Pretty nice to see. When devices locked, do not disturb options, you can actually change the rules for do not disturb, so you can tailor it to what you need. Filter notifications is available. Notification access can be changed. I personally use this a lot, so I will be keeping that. Battery, now it does have the battery saver options and all that, but you can disable the warning color, which I really appreciate. I personally don't like to see warning colors orange in your face whenever my battery is below 15%, and that happens a lot, that I'm proud of. So yeah. Enable per app profiles for each battery modes. These are the battery modes. Performance is the best one. Power save is the least battery usable one, battery using one. So it does work out. I have actually done a few benchmarks with the different battery modes, and the performance, yes, of course, you get the best performance. The battery save mode, you get the performance score of about 1,20,000. With the performance one, I got about 1,51,000. So yeah, it does make a difference. Now in the security features, you do have most of the security features which you will find in any other OnePlus 3 ROM, so nothing special there. Ambient display does have all these still sensor and proximity sensor options. You can enable to disable that, so you can tailor it to what you need. Gestures, now this is what was available with Resurrection Remix also, but I find that this implementation is working, and I can actually enable the flashlight and camera with gestures from the lock screen, which I was not able to use when in the Resurrection Remix ROM. So this is nice to see. Now it does have additional button settings where you can configure the alert slider, and yeah, alert slider does work, which is pretty phenomenal actually. I really do have started using the alert slider for just shutting up my phone, and I am pretty glad that it is working in this ROM. Other stuff are pretty standard CyanogenMod 13 stuff. System profiles are available. You can enable or disable that, and even add other profiles which you need. Weather options are available for this is basically from C-Clock, so you do have that. USB and storage options, you can enable, disable all of these stuff. In the developer option, you do have add away option, which I personally I am not a huge fan of add away, but you can just remove that from using system app remover. You do have advanced reboot options, so that is nice to see. Root access is already there. Now it does have multi-window, which I have already enabled, so it works, but you do need the stock recent menu for that. But as I've already told you guys, the multi-window option in the Marshmallow ROMs is not very charming. It's just there to just, I don't know, get the fanboys rolling. So I guess that much is it. Let me show you guys the boot animation, which is pretty nice. So here is the boot animation for the Bliss ROM 6.4 on the OnePlus 3. It's a very beautiful material design Bliss animation. So yeah, nice to see this. Now let's get to the other stuff, namely the notification drawer. Now notification drawer does have a lot of improved stuff. Now this is CyanogenMod notification, so clicking edit tiles will give you option to add a bunch of tiles in here. So you do have ambient display enabler, caffeine, lock screen, music player, all this can be enabled. Sync, volume panel can be enabled, all of this, or I've actually enabled a few of them which I personally am using a lot. And if you swipe to the left, you do have show weather, you can enable weather. Show brightness slider, you can disable brightness slider altogether because I'm using the swipe the status bar for that. Enlarge the first row or location enabler, so you can have that and it does work out nicely. So I personally do like this a lot. You do have a flashlight option in the status bar, compass option, default performance kernels, the battery saver profiles, themes. Even I personally don't know why you would have themes as a option there. So yeah, these are available stuff there, and it works. So the launcher is basically, there is a stock launcher which is basically the trebuchet, and I really don't like the trebuchet launcher in the CyanogenMod devices. The only thing which I like in trebuchet is this one, and this is not available in anything else, but I really don't like anything else about trebuchet, so I'm not using it as my daily drivers. Now the camera is pretty snappy for what it is. I found this to be useful enough that I can take multiple photos, and I didn't really have it hang up too much. The HDR is available. HDR does take a little bit more time than the normal one, and I would have liked to have the Oxygen OS camera application, which really has a very nice auto HDR function. So yeah, apart from that, all the other stuff which you will be seeing are basically what comes with the ROM, and some things which I have installed. Now something which during the benchmark, something which I noticed is that whenever I change the profile, battery saving profile, to anything beyond balanced, like there's balance, which is normal one, quick, and performance, it caused weird graphical glitches in the benchmark. So I would say that is not very useful in terms of gaming. Now these are the benchmarks which I received. This is with the power saving feature on, and still 1,26,000 is a very good score considering it's in power saving. The other scores which I received is like about 1,50,000, which was its performance, and 1,48,000, which is a normal stock reading which I get. with the balance function, so it changes according to your requirement. So that is something which I really appreciate in this one. So it doesn't come with Xposed installer, you have to install the Xposed modules if you are going to use them. So I believe that is it about the ROM. I personally am really sold out on this ROM because, okay, again, the ROM is extremely stable. I had one reboot issue when I was trying to use the gestures, but after that gestures started working perfectly. I didn't have any issues. The battery life is phenomenal. I was able to go through the day and have 30% left on my device. Yes, it wasn't a very heavy day, but still on Oxygen OS, I get almost the same. And I get so much more features on this that I don't really need to have Oxygen OS apart from a few other stuff which I'll be talking about, of course. So yeah, this does have a very good battery life, at least for me and in my eyes. This is a very good daily driving ROM. Now the other ones, dash charge is still not available on this device. So yeah, dash charge won't be available until the end of July. That is half a month away still. So I'm desperately clinging on to the news that it is coming. I want that in this ROM. It would be phenomenal. Dash charge is important and it will change the way you charge your device and you use your device. So that is something there. Other stuff includes that the camera is just cyanogen mode stock stuff, so may not be the best one. You don't have many manual controls, at least, well, in Oxygen OS also you don't have a lot of manual controls, but still it was better interface and better overall experience using that camera than this one. So yeah, I guess that much is it about the ROM. In the conclusion, I would like to say again that this is a very good daily driving ROM with, again, a really good battery life. Everything works. I didn't find anything which doesn't work except for the stuff which we already know doesn't work, like dash charging and all that. Even the illustrator works, even gestures work. So yeah, pretty much it. I guess that much is it about the ROM. Hope you guys like the video. Please share, subscribe and like the video if you found it useful. See you guys next time. Bye.